Joining us here live for this segment is Chance Zimmerman. He's a junior at Christopher Newport University, and his major is American Studies and Psychology. And then Matthew Arthur is with us, and he's a senior, and his major is American Studies and Political Science. Let's start with Chance Zimmerman. And Chance, well, first of all, you guys came up from Newport News today, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So what's that about an hour and a half? Took you from campus?
Yeah, it said an hour 18, but yeah, probably more like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
you run into traffic once you get into Richmond and stuff, and there's some construction over on the Newport News side. So
yeah, but after that construction's done, I live in Chesapeake, and once all that construction's done, man, it's going to be heaven on earth driving on those new roads, right?
Definitely.
That's why, by the way, sidebar, that's why I was for the biggest tax increase in the history of Virginia to fix our roads. And just saying, I'm right once again. So, Chance, tell me about Christopher Newport University, American Studies, and why are you with us today?
I'm here today because I'm a conservative, and who doesn't want to be on the John Fredericks show? I'm a conservative on campus. I feel like that sometimes we're drowned out, it seems like, or we're just like kind of like forgotten. So it's always great. One thing that I really love to do is just kind of do my part, helping the conservative cause, try to spread awareness of it, on campus and stuff like that, or just out in the community, because there's young people that are conservative, they support our president, they support conservative values, and they're definitely out there. I know at some universities it doesn't seem like that's the case, but they definitely are.
So you think there's a hidden young people's vote for Trump, basically?
Yes. I mean, obviously, it seems like the Democrats, have a monopoly on the young vote, but there's definitely young people out there. I mean, you see with organizations like, Students for Trump, and you got Turning Point, and, CRs, YAF, YL, we're out there, and, we're, constantly grinding, whether it be on college campuses or at doors, whatever it may be. But, we're definitely out there. And one thing that I will say about young people that support the Republican cause, to support President Trump, we're going to come out there and we're going to vote. And you can't say that. I don't think that Democrats can really say that about their young people as much. They kind of can be a little bit flaky, but when it comes down to the kids that support President Trump, we're going to be out there and we're going to vote.
All right, that's Chance Zimmerman. You guys are going to be with us for the duration of the show. They're also on Facebook Live. Let's get to Matthew Arthur with us. You're an upperclassman senior at Christopher Newport University. Your major, American Studies, Matthew, and Political Science. Being a conservative on campus, at a campus like Christopher Newport University, which you don't think is going to be a bastion of liberalism just based on where it is, but being a conservative on campus, do you guys get doxxed on social media? How does that work for you?
For me personally, I haven't really experienced any doxing or anything like that. I used to hold positions on campus for different conservative and libertarian-leaning clubs on campus, from College Republicans to Young Americans for Liberty. So I haven't experienced anything like that, but I know of people on campus who, for example, went to the most recent Trump rally in Newport News, who experienced instances of being doxxed, receiving threats, and just not being accepted for having, a opinion that differs from what the status quo is on college campuses across this country. I remember seeing Snapchat stories and Instagram stories of people we both know who went to the rally, and they screenshotted and sent pictures of the threats they received, people calling them names. I remember seeing one post where somebody said, "I hope they don't return back to campus." It was insane. And so it is out there. I never experienced it, but like Chance said, there is a strong conservative presence on college campuses. Although they might not be the most vocal individuals out there, they are going to support our president. They're going to go out and vote, and there's nothing going to stop them from doing that. They have the right to, express their views and values without the fear of being attacked or anything like that. So, being a conservative on campus, it does have its challenges, but for the most part, we are not afraid to, call anything out and be genuine.
Let's talk about the teaching environment at Christopher Newport University. One of the things that we hear are that some of the professors get very upset if you express your views. They want you to toe the left-wing narrative line. Have you guys experienced that in any of your classes? Let's go to Chance Zimmerman.
Yes.
Because you might not want to say that, huh?
Yeah, no.
I don't like my history professor.
No. No, I honestly haven't really experienced it. Obviously, there's liberal professors, and they, will make some remarks or stuff like that. But they're not the type that are going to and I can't speak for every single one, but from my experience, from most people's experience that I know, they're not really the type that are going to punish you for being a conservative. And and I'm a psychology major as well, so but no, I mean, I will say this about CNU, all the staff are very professional, are very good at their jobs, and I've had some great experiences with professors in both the American Studies and psychology department, and just other departments as well. Definitely top-notch university, and the staff are just really good with that. But I'm sure that, and I know it's on other campuses, it's like it's like that, but I'm sure that there definitely could be cases, but like I said, from my personal experience, it's not too bad. But I always feel like, because also it's not just professors but students as well. I always feel like that you have to kind of curb your opinion a little bit, just because you don't want anybody to think negative, so that's always in play. But I've never really had any bad experiences with faculty in that regard.
Tell me about school there. Is it in classroom now, or do you have a partial Zoom thing going?
Yeah, so they've been pretty good with that. They kind of left it up to professors' discretion on how they want to handle it. Half of my classes, I think it's six classes a semester. 3 of them are in person. The other 3 are being held online. But they are, I think every class is, what's the term they use? Asynchramatic.
Something like
that.
Yeah. So, so you're on there at the time that the class is supposed to be on. They're trying to engage with you. Most people are pretty engaging. So they try to make it as best of an in-person experience as they can. But so I would say the classes are probably split right now, 50-50, and with half being online, the other half in person. But they're really trying to give you the best experience that they can, and I think that overall, they've been handling that pretty well.
Okay, I'm going to get to Matthew Arthur Sr. at Christopher Newport University in American Studies and Political Science. So, Matthew, when you walk around campus, do you put your Trump button on? or do you kind of go a little incognito until you get in your club environment?
I do a mix of things. I mean, I have my Reagan Bush mask on, so I wear that.
I saw that when you came in. That was pretty impressive.
So I wear that around campus a lot. I have my Reagan Bush shirt. So, I'm not afraid to, voice my opinion and show where I stand politically. A lot of times, though, I'm, running all over the place, classes in different buildings, going to different on-campus jobs, internships, just other obligations I have on campus. So I'm not, constantly out there wearing my political swag or whatever you want to call it. But
political swag, I like it.
But I'm not afraid to, wear and, voice my opinion when
Right.
I think I need to. Like I said earlier, I used to be in the College Republicans and Young Americans for Liberty, so I used to host events, invite guest speakers down to campus, and promote all that. So we, like I said, I'm not afraid to, say I believe X, Y, and Z, and I'm not afraid to proudly show it. And
You're not afraid to engage.
oh, 100, yeah, I'm
Right.
happy to engage. I believe there needs to be more dialogue and more meaningful conversations instead of the constant, yelling back and forth. It's just that's probably the one thing, going back to what you asked Chance about college professors. They encourage the dialogues both in the classroom and in their office hours. I've had great conversations with professors who are on the left and on the right about a variety of issues, and every time I've interacted with them, especially in the American Studies and Political Science department, they've been very, very respectful to all views, and I've had meaningful encounters with everyone, and it's quite surprising, actually, because you read in the news and seeing videos of UC Berkeley, for example, where conservative students are shouted down and they set their school on fire because they invite conservative speakers
Right.
over, but not at CNU.
But you never had that.
Right.
Do you guys commute or you live on campus?
On campus.
On campus.
You live on campus. That's kind of fun. So you got a dorm there and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, neat. Okay, Christopher Newport University. We're going to engage you a little bit more, speaking of engagement, when I get back. But and you're back on the John Fredericks Radio Network. Our two students from Christopher Newport University. They're live on Facebook. You can check us out there. Back to our students here. Chance Zimmerman, Jr., Christopher Newport University, majoring in American Studies and Psychology. Matthew Arthur, Senior, American Studies and Political Science. Nick from Virginia Beach texts in. He says, "Yo, go CNU. It's surprisingly conservative. My future daughter-in-law goes there." Well, until she's your daughter-in-law, well, you never know what happens. It is your future daughter-in-law. Never know what happens these days. We're going to visit my son, Jack, a high school teacher at the Delta in Mississippi. He's got a girlfriend, and so I didn't handle it very well. It's been dating her 8 months, and I'm like, "So are we going to see Christy, over Thanksgiving? Is she going to be there?" My son, Jack, is like, "Yeah, she'll be there." "Are we going to see her?" And he's like, "I don't think so." So I'm like, I get all mad. I'm like, what do you mean we're not going to see her? It's your girlfriend, your whole family's coming, your brother's coming, we're going all the way down there. And then I told Ann, and Ann's like, she's like, "You know what? How old are you?" I'm like, "Well, 62. She's like, "You just don't get it. Obviously, things are not going well. So give him some space." I'm like, "Okay, give him space." So I got hollered at for that. That's about my speed with you guys. So tell us, on campus, Trump support, what is it? Is it silent? Is it there? Because we see all these reports now of young voters coming out in droves, and the Democrats are saying, "Oh, we won because all the young voters are voting for us." True or false? Let's start with Matthew.
Very good question. I would say overall, conservative-leaning students aren't really vocal. I mean, I've seen a couple people walking on campus with, Trump Pence shirts, wearing MAGA hats, and all that fun stuff. But overall, I wouldn't say like I'm seeing students, sitting out on the Great Lawn, with all that political swag on and stuff like that. But during the Trump rally, there were a lot of people who were coming back to campus with Trump signs, Trump hat, Trump mask, a bunch of materials to support the president. So I would say there is a large percentage, or at least a decent percentage of students, at least at CNU, who have voted already or planning on voting for President Trump. But again, it's been pretty silent overall, and I think a lot of that has to do with fear of being doxxed and also having COVID restrictions and stuff like that. And yeah,
People just don't want the hassle, but I think we were saying earlier this that a lot of the media is saying this big young vote is all Democratic. I don't think so. Do you guys want another lockdown?
No.
no,
No, you don't want another lockdown.
I'm done with this lockdown.
Even Kara
Yeah.
doesn't want a lockdown. She had to admit it. She doesn't want a lockdown. It goes counter to some of her narrative. But I think and I'm not saying it any other reason that Kara doesn't want a lockdown. I think young people are done with this. Now they're locking down Europe again, right? I mean, this is just going to go on in perpetuity. And the fact is, you look at cases today, like Rufus, my Democratic listener, we live in his head. He's all upset. He says, these kids are spreading the virus. The rallies are spreading the virus. Here's the deal, Rufus. Nobody cares, right? Cases are irrelevant. They don't matter. 6 million people have recovered for it. The majority of people that have it don't know, and if they do, it's like 2 or 3 days, like Trump had it or my wife Ann had it. 2 or 3 days it passes. So we're not going to live in fear. If you want to live in fear, Rufus, stay at home, go in your basement, put 3 masks on, like Governor Northam did, wouldn't go out, had the biggest mask I'd ever seen. I think it was called the moonwalk mask. Well, he got it also. So, stay home. Why punish everybody else, right? I have no fear of it. And I got to say, if there's a vaccine, I'm not getting no vaccine. No way. Because I don't care. If I get it, who cares? I wear a mask. I see you guys came in masks. Mm-hmm. See, don't you agree with me? You can make masks fun, right? Like you have a Reagan Bush mask.
Oh, yeah.
You have a what? Don't tread on me.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make masks. You can make political statements. I'm a Titans fan. Starting Friday, I put on my Titans mask, piss off all the Steeler fans. I mean, you can make it fun. And I wear a mask not because I think it's going to do anything, but why offend anybody? And if it does help, what's the downside? There's no downside. But if you are afraid of the virus, why don't you stay home? Rufus, if you stay home, you can't get sick. Lock the door, close the blinds, and by all means, Rufus, do not risk voting because you might die. John Fredericks Radio Network,